Hi, I want to introduce you now to the tapered stroke. This is one of the very important elements to my method, and you've heard me talk about grace and flow. This is where you're going to start getting it. I want to be able to utilize this stroke probably in about 90% of my picture, and we're going to set some goals. I want you to be able to analyze the stroke and some of the different elements to it, so that you know what to look for and what to practice for. It won't be perfect at first. There's a lot of challenges in it, but I guarantee you if you can practice this until it becomes somewhat natural, then you're going to reap the results all the way through. Let's go ahead and talk about some of the elements we're going to discuss. Let's go ahead and make sure too that we have our light in the right place. I'm right-handed, so I want it off to my left-hand side, and I want to be able to have chosen the right side of my paper. That's the back side, and I've verified that by the light. I have a piece of paper here underneath my hand, and now I'm going to go ahead and set myself up here so that I can take several things, the mechanics of it. I'm going to take the mechanics of it into consideration here. I want to be able to swing my fingers and not move my hand. The more muscles I move, the less control I'm going to have. And so I want to be able to pretend that there's a pin right through here, through my knuckles here, and right through into the table. And as much as possible, I want to just move my fingers. I want to be able to have the fingers at about the halfway point, enough that you can just put the end of the pencil and kind of have this cradle, this little saddle here. And I want to be able to rest it on my middle finger, and to be able to put my index finger on one side and my thumb on the other. And I don't want to just grip down. I'm trying to get away from tension. I want just enough control to put this flow and grace stroke where I want to. And so now I'm going to position myself so that I can address my table. I can be forward, and know what to expect. I want to standardize this as much as I possibly can so that I can start getting the feel for it. And I want to be able to just graze the surface. I want to be able to just glide on and glide off. It's like an airplane landing and taking off. I want to already be going the direction I intend to go before I ever make contact with the paper. And as I leave contact with the paper, I'm going to want to have a little follow through. Otherwise, I'm going to end up with things like this. And I can have actually a hook or a very abrupt line starting. And if I don't have follow through, I can end up by actually having a hook at the end too, because I suddenly stop. This will never work, and I want you to be able to practice this, because again, this is going to be an integral element in probably 90% of what you're going to do. So do the best you can, and then we'll do some exercises after this to show you how to control it and adjust it. And this is just the mechanics of how you actually do the initial stroke. So now I'm going to go ahead and make my stroke. I'm going to land on softly and take off. You can see the ones that had little hooks on the end, because we weren't gliding on and off the paper. We weren't starting before we ever make contact with the paper, and we weren't following through. And this one here has those pointed ends. It's curved. It comes down. We're going to glide on, and it comes down, and we're going to reach the full value. And then as we start coming and making less contact and we leave the paper, it is actually going to get lighter and thinner, and this is called the tapered stroke. This is just part of a larger radius. Remember what I said about putting a pin into our hands? If we were able to go all the way around, we would actually have a full circle or a radius. And this is just one part of that, maybe about 3 inches long. I am starting at about the 10 o'clock position, and I'm coming down and pulling counterclockwise to the 9 o'clock position. And I want you to notice not only that it is curved visually this way, but that because it's lighter on each end, it could be arced. It could be giving the illusion that it's a deeper, more shadowed part. And this is going to lend itself to us making illusions. When we have the surroundings that say what we want, this will actually be perceived in the right way. Now, I want you to also recognize which was your best taper. And you'll hear me reference that every once in a while. I want you to position your drawing so that you can utilize your best taper. It might be for the hair, it might be for a number of other things. But usually it's a little more abrupt where you start the stroke than where you end the stroke. It's a little harder to land an airplane softly than it is to take it off. And so we want to practice so that we can do the best taper we possibly can and try to avoid these little problems. And that is the basic elements of the tapered stroke.